Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Chelsea Gray got named best point guard over Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, and I'm sure everybody handled that one rationally and with grace and understanding that the second you start doubting Chelsea Gray is still the best point guard in the WNBA, she will remind you she is the point god. Caitlin Clark, get back on the court. She'll have her moment. She's got to play.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies, take your fandom to the next level by becoming an MVP.
How long have you been an MVP?
Since day one.
Enjoy the great benefits of being a season ticket member. Pre-game MVP moments, including Autograph Alley, exclusive Grizz gear deals, access to member or MVP-only player events, and much more.
He's been an MVP for 22 years!
Become a Grizzlies MVP today.
From the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. We're in FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I sure hope you're not tired of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander shooting free throws and winning MVPs, because he's done it again. He's done it again. That's another MVP for SGA in advance of tonight's Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the Spurs. In the East, it's going to be the Knicks and the Cavs, with Game 1 scheduled for tomorrow night. We'll talk about all of it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, Michael Eaves is going to join me. He, of course, hosts SportsCenter for ESPN. He was at the PGA Championship this weekend, where Aaron Rai got his first career major. Michael Eaves will join me, talk to him about that and other things. He'll be here about 20 minutes. Finish talking to him, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the Nike EYBL circuit passed through Memphis this weekend. Always a cool deal for the city. We'll dive into that in about 40 minutes. Former Ole Miss basketball coach Kermit Davis is among the latest to react to Lane Kiffin trashing the school last week as a place that still feels very racist to some. I'll tell you how Kermit responded. I'll read his quotes to you a little later on in the show. Ronda Rousey defeated Gina Carano in less than 20 seconds in their Netflix fight over the weekend. So that's 17 seconds you'll never get back. Might be time to stop watching retired fighters unretire and fight on Netflix. These things are just never interesting. We'll get into that in just a bit. Speaking of, Conor McGregor is making his return to UFC. I'll ask Bennett if MMA fans care. We'll do that in the third segment. And the man responsible for the stabbing death of a local chef was convicted of voluntary manslaughter this weekend after initially being charged with first-degree murder. His sentence, relatively speaking, will be light. The victim's family is upset. I don't blame them. I'll tell you exactly how crazy this story is. During a segment, we cover 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start in the NBA where only 4 teams remain alive for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. In the West, as you know, it's the Thunder and the Spurs. Game 1 Western Conference Finals set for tonight. In the East, it's going to be the Knicks and the Cavs. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals set for tomorrow night. Both series should be fun. Big Bet Bennett, it's good to see you on this Monday morning. Nice to be back in studio with a fresh week in front of us. Let's start in the East, where the Cavs went on the road last night for a Game 7 in Detroit and absolutely humiliated the Pistons. Final score, Cleveland 125, Detroit 94. That's a 31-point win on the road in a Game 7. Not a record, because the record is a 39-point win by the Philadelphia Warriors over the St. Louis Bombers. That was on the road in a Game 7 of a series back in 1948. Bennett, you remember it well.
Surely, yeah.
After that on the list, you might actually remember this one. Mavs over the Suns by 33 on the road in a Game 7 of the 2022 Western Conference semifinals. And now, next on the list, it is the Cavs over the Pistons by 31 on the road in Game 7 of the 2026 Eastern Conference semifinals. What'd you make of that beatdown inside Little Caesars Arena last night?
I believe I was completely wrong about both of these series. I believe I sat here with you and said after both teams led 2-0. I can't remember if Minnesota was up 2-0 or if it was 1-1.
1-1.
Either way, I believe I sat here and said these series are both over. I said that the Pistons are going to handle the Cavaliers. I said that the Timberwolves were going to handle the Spurs. I was completely wrong on both, so that's great. It was surprising, dude. I mean, that arena was empty in the fourth quarter. That was wild to see in a Game 7.
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised the Cavs could pull off a win on the road in a Game 7. They'd already won there before. They'd won a Game 5 there. But to do it like that, that's rough.
James Harden just laughing at everyone. James Harden just laughing at everyone, dude.
Maybe James Harden gets the last laugh.
Every microphone in America that had the opportunity to talk about the James Harden-led Cleveland Cavaliers trashed him after that one game, and he's been awesome ever since, man. Credit to him.
He and Donovan Mitchell, they have their skeptics.
Yeah.
They have their skeptics, but they punch through here. And so now we get Knicks Cavs starting tomorrow. In that series, Knicks are minus 265 to advance. Cavs are plus 215, which means right now, based on the betting markets at least, of the 4 teams remaining, the most likely team to end up in the NBA Finals right now, based off of current odds, is the New York Knicks, because Oklahoma City is only a minus 260 favorite over the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals that start tonight. It's OKC minus 260, San Antonio plus 210. So the best odds to get to the finals right now belong to the New York Knicks.
Which is what everyone wants to see. No disrespect. Unless you live in Cleveland or the state of Ohio.
Yeah. God bless Cleveland. God bless Ohio. Yeah. I'm sure it matters a lot there. Nationally, internationally, yes, you want Madison Square Garden in the NBA Finals.
Of course.
And really that is part of it. You want Madison Square Garden in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, going against either the MVP or the next, future star of the league.
Doesn't matter.
It's
either the 2-time and reigning MVP or the guy who's going to be the greatest player of all time against Madison Square Garden. You want Timothy Chalamet there. You want Kylie Jenner there. You want Ben Stiller there. I'm sure Cleveland's got a nice, courtside fan base, but we don't watch them in movies too much, I don't think. So, absolutely, you want Knicks, unless you're a Cavs fan. And then on the other side, whatever happens, happens. Game 1 on the other side, again, tonight, 7:30, NBC. And that is where SGA will be recognized pregame as the winner of this season's Most Valuable Player Award. Announcement came yesterday, bright and early, from Shams Charania. Ruined it for Amazon Prime.
Oh, man.
Taylor Rooks and her crew, Blake Griffin, they were not happy. Any issue with Shams scooping the announcement?
Not really. I mean, it's his job.
It's his job.
It's his job. I get it. I understand being upset by it when it's it's your news to give, but he's a scoop breaker, and once he gets it, that's what they all do. It's just part of the gig.
If they were going to announce it last night on ESPN, do you think he would have still tweeted it in the morning? To me, that's a more interesting question.
So they obviously during the draft have been encouraged to chill out on saying the picks online before they're announced on TV. It's almost impossible to do, but it's gotten better, I would say.
They've certainly been more careful about it.
Yeah, they've certainly been more careful about it. So would he have? I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say yeah. He's probably putting that news out there regardless. But he has broken stuff on television on ESPN before. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's possible he tweets no matter what. It's just like I get the news. But I could just I could count on people think you have all these conflicts when you work, whether it's for CBS Sports and they're in business with the NCAA. And so, I am very critical of the NCAA and have been for 20 years. And it has never been an issue with my bosses at CBS Sports. Like, they don't talk to you like that. Like, so people assume you have all these conflicts that in reality, they don't really come up as much as you would think. But if I'm being honest, you do kind of know where you work, so like at halftime of a Mountain West game, I'm not just going to make a point to spend 2 minutes talking about how bad the Mountain West is. Like, what is the point? Like, you could be smart about it. Sometimes you choose what to say, what not to say. And so who you work for, and you can, be smart about it. And I could understand how if that announcement is expected to be made on ESPN tonight in prime time in advance of a Game 7 or whenever, that you might nudge. As an editor, you might nudge, or as a producer, you might nudge on Shams a little bit like, hey, if somebody else gets this, we won't hold it against you, but we would like to have this for our television show tonight, right? You could maybe have that conversation, or maybe he just knows that. But once it's an Amazon television show and not an ESPN show, you work for ESPN, you don't owe Amazon anything.
It's true.
And so if I were him in that moment, I think I would have done what he did.
Yeah.
I wasn't bothered by it, but it does sort of, in a perfect world, I guess you have these television moments where it's like, and the winner is, and by the time we get to that moment, it's ruined because of a tweet. The tweet doesn't hit the same way as a big announcement on television, but whatever. I didn't have a problem with it. It's his job. So either way, that's 2 MVPs for SGA. He's now the 16th player in NBA history with multiple MVPs. Among current players, active players, the list is only LeBron James with 4, Nikola Jokic with 3, and then Giannis, Steph, and SGA now have 2 each. Did he deserve it? Did the right guy win the MVP?
Well, we're about to find out in this series. Yeah, I think so, just because best team, best player, that's a lot of the times how this goes, right?
Yes.
And that's what this is. I think me and you have argued the point that if you take Wemby off the Spurs, there's zero chance that they are in this situation. They're probably not even close to a Western Conference Finals. SGA, you take him off the Thunder, I think they are still a really good team in the West that maybe could even still get to Western Conference Finals. I'd probably bet no, but I'd say they would have a chance because it seems like every dude they bring off the bench for that team is awesome. So they're a great team. But best player, best team, I get it. I
get it.
Yeah.
It is not how I would have voted. I don't think he's the most valuable player in the world. Like, I saw them talking on television last night, and at some point somebody said something like, and now, voters have told us Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player in the world. I don't think that's what voters are telling us. Does anybody actually think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best basketball player in the world?
I don't think so.
Who says that out loud? Who says, I think the best player in the world is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? People don't say that.
They don't.
He is a 2-time MVP. He has won it in back-to-back years. But that does not equate to he's the best player in the world. And I don't think it equates to he's the most valuable player in the world. I don't think he's either of those things. And I'm not an SGA hater the way so many people seem to be. Like, he's awesome at what he does. I wish he were on my favorite basketball team. But he's not the best player in the world. And he's not the most valuable player in the world. He is the best player on the best team in the world.
Yes.
Period. He's the best player on the best team in the world. But he's not the best player in the world. And he's not the most valuable player in the world. I would have voted for Victor Wembanyama because I think he's more valuable.
I think I would have too.
I think you take Wembanyama off that Spurs team and they are unrecognizable.
Yeah, but then it just goes back to the flip of the argument. How are you going to give it to a guy whose team was worse?
Easy, because he's more valuable.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that you have to give it to somebody from the best team is just not true. but that is what happens sometimes. Like the Bulls won more games in the Eastern Conference than anybody one year when Derrick Rose was awesome. And so Derrick Rose was the MVP and remains the youngest MVP in NBA history. But he was not the best player in the world that year. LeBron James was. And he didn't have the best season. Most people think LeBron James did. But best player on, maybe not best team, but team with best record in the East. And a little bit of voter fatigue, which is what is about to happen to SGA. I don't think he'll win another one.
Interesting, because Jokic got 3.
Yeah, and should have had 4.
And probably should have had 4, and that
but
was
you had voter fatigue. Yeah.
Yes. Man,
people just decide, I don't want to give it to this guy again. How about this? SGA can have next season the exact same statistical season he just had, and the Thunder can win the exact same amount of games, and he will not win MVP next year.
That'll be really interesting to see, because they are, barring injury, they are likely to probably be in this exact same spot next year.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if they do just go with, the best player on the best team again, because I could totally I stand on that. Jokic, he should have had 4. That was voter fatigue. I think you're right, man. I think we could see that again.
Like he might win another one in 4 years, or
right.
He will not win another one next year
because they're set up to be awesome forever now.
Yeah. He might get another, but he will not get 3 in a row because there's going to be there were reasonable alternatives this year. Jokic, Wemby. I guess some people were arguing Luka for a minute. There were reasonable alternatives this season. There will also be reasonable alternatives next season, and people will take them. How about this list?
Okay.
Of players who have never won multiple MVPs. Never did. So SGA has 2 right now. He's in his 20s. He has 2 MVPs. Here's a list of people who never won 2. Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Hakeem Olajuwon, Dirk, Shaq, Allen Iverson. Does that strike you as odd, or that's just that does it? Because like nobody would argue that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant or Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to obviously,
but he does have more MVPs.
Yeah, obviously Hakeem is during the Jordan era.
All that's Jordan.
That's Jordan. Kobe is interesting because didn't Steve Nash win 2 when Kobe was in his prime? And people will go back to those and say,
should he have really?
Steve Nash, yeah. So that is an interesting list. Yeah. I'm surprised by that one.
Yeah, some of it is Jordan stuff. Some of it is just, like you can rank higher on an all-time great list. It's a little bit like think of tennis or golf. Like how many golfers would be multiple major winners if their birth certificates didn't line up pretty closely to Tiger Woods?
Right.
Like only one person can win those major tournaments, and for a while Tiger was taking most of them, or certainly lots of them. And so
Kobe only getting 1 MVP is crazy. I can't believe that.
So it is fun. Like Kobe resonates with kids even today.
Still,
like my kids will be shooting basketball, and they will pretend they're Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I mean Cedric Howard's favorite player is Kobe Bryant, and Cedric was. Yeah, a kid when Kobe was doing his
thing.
My
kids never saw Kobe Bryant play basketball in real life.
Right.
On TV in real life, ever. They never saw that.
Yeah.
But if you just told them to start impersonating basketball players or talking about basketball, they get to Kobe pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They get to pretty.
Those shoes are still super popular.
Yeah, just, I don't know, perhaps his death plays a role in it. But Kobe Bryant, resonates in a way. You will hear my kids talk more glowingly about Kobe Bryant than they will Michael Jordan. Like Kobe Bryant is the one that still, for whatever reason, kids talk about Kobe Bryant a lot. So, but just 1 MVP. One MVP. Shay's got 2. I'll ask Michael Eaves what he thinks about it.
See.
He'll join me next.
The Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org.
This is the next generation of Tony Allen, is Asar Thompson. He had 16 blocks and 16 steals. When I said this guy is Super Tony, he is Super Tony. This is Tony Allen, like next gen. It was unbelievable.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and on Mondays in the second segment, I'm joined by Michael Eaves, who, of course, among other things, hosts Sports Center for ESPN. You saw him last night, live from the PGA Championship. He's back home now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back home.
I bet. Those road trips can get exhausting, and those the hotel rooms can take a toll. I want to get to that, Aaron Rye winning a major championship in a moment. I want to start with the NBA. SGA wins his second straight MVP yesterday, becoming only the 16th person in NBA history to win at least two. Did he deserve it? I'll keep it simple.
Yes. Could you have made the case for other people? Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the case every single year, though. I mean, it's rare that we have a unanimous consensus for MVP. So with that being said, yes, he deserved it, but you could have made a strong case for Wemby. You could have made a strong case for Jalen Brunson. But I think when you are the number one team defending NBA champion and he goes out there and does what he does, and we also like what's on his resume for this year's award, Gary, is the injuries that OKC suffered that we don't really talk about for whatever reason. So I have no problem with him winning back-to-back MVPs.
It is crazy that like their second best player is sidelined and we don't even notice. Like it doesn't even matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. That's disrespectful of the player, but like the games look the same.
Yeah, and I think for a couple reasons there. One, Jalen doesn't get the same amount of attention that, let's say, Jason Tatum does, right? But all season long with Boston, it was like, Jason Tatum coming back, Jason Tatum coming back. And once he got when he did come back in the playoffs, is he going to play? Like, it was all about Jason Tatum. And he's the number two guy, at least he was this year behind Jaylen Brown. But in OKC, you don't hear about Jalen Williams in relation to what they're doing. Like, he's not there, to your point. And they still got the number one seed. They're still the favorite here against the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, but we don't hear anything about him. And I'm not sure what that says about him, maybe his personality, how we view him, but more than anything, it tells you how good SGA was this year.
So tonight he will be recognized in front of the home crowd in advance of Game 1 of Thunder Spurs, and then we're going to throw it up in the air. Thunder Spurs would be awesome no matter what, but we do have the component of the MVP debate, and two of the men who were at the center of that conversation will be on the court in this best-of-7 series. I can't wait for the NBA Finals, but it feels like the Western Conference Finals is the start of something we might watch a 6-part documentary on someday.
Yeah, it just adds to the intrigue of the matchup that you have those two guys that are central figures in these storylines. And look, we've been talking about Wemby in disbelief since he came into the league, and I think a lot of people were a little surprised that he got this team to this position this fast in his NBA career. So all of that just makes you want to watch. Now, will the winner of this series win the NBA championship? I think you can make a strong case that they would be the stronger team against whoever comes out of the East. But because of the youth on both of these teams and the fact that OKC has all those draft picks and capital that they can do whatever they want with their roster for the next several years going forward, to your point, I think this is probably the matchup we'll see quite some time in the Western Conference. And every generation, Gary, has pretty much had sort of these type of rivalry set up that start in the playoffs. Lakers and the Spurs were those teams in the 2000s, right? And so you get those type of rivalries organically. Sometimes we try to force them. We're starting to get this one organically, and it's really started in the regular season between these two teams. And now hopefully we get 7 games of these guys going head to head.
So the Spurs get here after eliminating the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards has gotten a lot of attention for dapping everybody up with about 8 minutes to go, sort of waving the white flag. That's turned into a thing. Should it be a thing?
No.
Yeah.
Who else thought they were going to come back and win?
Not me.
Nobody. Nobody did. Nobody in that arena, nobody on the other team, nobody watching at home thought, oh, yeah, they're going to come back from this. So he went and did it early. It's not a big deal. And also, like, that's just Anthony Edwards, man. He doesn't subscribe to anything that is tradition, anything that is, I don't know, unwritten rules and all that kind of stuff. That's just not who he is. So for you to expect something different out of these people, we as human beings have to stop projecting onto these people certain times because it doesn't really mean anything. If anything, he was trying to show sportsmanship and we're giving him shit for it. I don't understand. Well, back in my day, Michael Jordan never would have done that. You're absolutely right. And Michael Jordan didn't play in 2026. Michael Jordan didn't grow up in social media. Like, everything is different for these guys. So you can't compare these people all time to people who played 20, 30 years ago. It's just unfair. It was no disrespect to the game in my mind because they were getting blown the F out. They had no chance to come back winning that game. So why not go? He knew he wasn't coming back in the game. Right. So go say it now. Well, he could have waited to the horns. He could have, but he didn't. So what?
Yeah, so what? Didn't bother me either. In the East, we get Knicks Cavs after Cleveland goes to Detroit and wins a Game 7 on the road by 31 points, third largest margin of victory in the history of the NBA for a road team in a Game 7. What'd you make of what we saw last night?
I was stunned.
Yeah.
I didn't see all of it because obviously I was at the golf tournament, but I just couldn't believe the result itself. Especially if you consider how this series started, right? Both teams winning on the road and, both teams winning at home. And then Cleveland went to Detroit and played way better than I thought they would, considering what happened the first 2 games they played there. And then for them to do this and James Harden really have no, I don't want to say real impact, but no real impact on the game based on his numbers. Like, how the hell did that happen? So, but as we stand here at the beginning of the season, Cleveland got off to a really good start. You looked at their overall roster, like, man, this is a good team set up for the playoffs with 2 bigs that are mobile, can play both ends. You got Donovan Mitchell. At the time, you had Darius Garland. Then they go make the trade for James Harden. They felt like they needed somebody else to be able to make plays in the playoffs. So in some regards, we shouldn't be surprised that they made the Eastern Conference Finals. They didn't get one of the top seeds. They're like, what are they doing here? And now they're going up against a Knicks squad that has been incredible in the playoffs so far. Like, they're playing above their heads. And so I don't really know what to make of this matchup, Gary, because both teams have shown me something that I wasn't expecting of them based on how they both entered the postseason.
Let's talk golf. You were at the PGA Championship for the past week. I watched you on television last night. Aaron Rai, 290-1, longest odds for a major winner in the past 20 years. What'd you make of what we saw?
It was an improbable story. Yeah. He was ranked 44th in the official world golf rankings and only had one other victory on the PGA Tour. He won 3 times on the DP World Tour in Europe, but he was not the guy that anyone expected to, break out and win a major. He was never in the conversation of best player to have never won a major. We don't have one win, but that's golf and that's sports. Okay. He played better than everybody else, and it's not even close, right? His score got better, Gary, each day he was on the golf course. Starting from Thursday to Sunday, he shot a lower score each day. And he shot his career low in a major Sunday with a 65 to win the thing. And oh, by the way, in the things that really matter when it comes to golf and predicting who's going to play well, there's a metric called shots gained. It's basically a measurement against how well you perform in certain areas against the field. And shots gain approach, which is your approach to the green from the fairway, hopefully, but sometimes from the rough, he was second in the field. His shots gained putting was 5th best in the field. And that's why he won. He played better than everybody in the most important aspects of the game at a major championship. So he deserved to win. There's no question about it. I think golf fans are just disappointed that some of those other guys didn't play better. Rory didn't play better. Scotty Scheffler, he has the best scoring average on tour on both Saturday and Sunday, and he could not mount a charge after leading the tournament on Thursday. I thought on Thursday night the tournament was over, and I thought it was going to be Scotty. He couldn't play well enough. John Rahm was there, couldn't play well enough. So I think we kept expecting all these other guys to do something, and you look up, the guy who played the best ended up winning. That was Aaron Rai.
And he wins it with 2 gloves. I don't know if he's the first ever 2-glove major winner, but very
definitely the first 2 gloves to wear it all 4 days. Maybe some rain somewhere you had to wear some gloves, but he does it every single round.
Could you be a 2-glove wearer?
No, I don't wear any gloves.
You don't wear any gloves?
I don't wear any gloves, and I haven't done it for, 20, 25 years. I stopped a long time ago. The only time I've worn gloves, if it's like extremely like humid and I'm sweating, it's kind of hard to keep my hands dry, I'll put one on my left hand. Or the time that I went to St. Andrews and it was raining and you have to. And that's the thing about the gloves he wears. He doesn't wear like a regular leather glove. His gloves are all weather gloves. They're really made more for rain. But he's worn them since he was a kid, and he's never going to stop wearing them. That's for sure. And the thing about the iron covers, that's like, if you wear iron covers, like, people are going to question your entire game. You're going to call you lame. But the origin of his golf story and how his parents, got together this money to buy him these really expensive set of clubs when they could see that he had a lot of talent, and the care they took for those clubs, that is why he uses those iron covers sometimes. It's for that sort of nostalgia and respect and appreciation for what his parents did for his game. And now he's a major championship winner, and he won $3.69 million last night.
I love every aspect of all of that because, like, golf culture is so weird. Like, you got to have the right shoes and the right bag and the right brand. And here's a guy who just does not care about any of that. Like, I play with a guy, I got paired with him out of the country, and he was putting with his glove on. As you know, most people who wear a glove take it off to putt. And he said, and I finally just asked, I was like, so you putt with the glove on, why do you do that? He said, you putt with your glove off. And I said, yeah. He goes, why? Well, he goes, why do you do that? I said, because that's what everybody does. He said, do you have any better reason than that? I was like, no, not really. And he's like, I just decided it doesn't change anything for me. So I don't need to take this off and put it back on. And I don't care that it doesn't look normal and that's what Aaron Rai reminded me of. He doesn't subscribe to all the rules most of us tend to subscribe to.
Correct. And a lot of it's personal. Jack Nicklaus putted with his glove on his entire career. My thing is, if you're going to do something that is, let's call it off, then you better play well. Like, I have a friend here in Connecticut who plays, and he's not very good, and he wears 2 gloves, and I give him trash about it all the time. It's like, dude, you're not good enough to play with 2 gloves. Like, if you're going to play with 2 gloves, you better be really good, and no one questions anything you're doing. Or I hate when guys wear a towel hanging out the back of their shorts, or one guy I know, he has like the little clip of the divot cleaning tool, the little brush. He has it clipped to his belt. I'm like, bro, none of you guys are good enough to do that whack-ass stuff, right? So just act normal and go out there and work in your game. And you become Aaron Rai, you can use iron covers and 2 gloves all you want.
Yeah, you don't need all that stuff. What you need is the extender to reach into the water and get your ball back out.
Ball.
You need
100%.
to carry that thing. You need to carry that with you. You don't need all this other stuff. Roy McIlroy said the bunched-up leaderboard was evidence that the setup was not good. Nobody could separate. Is he right?
I don't know, to be quite honest. I never really considered that aspect of how it could affect a leaderboard. I do know through the first 2 days, some of those hole locations were very hard to get to. And based on the slopes in the green, it was hard for not just the guys to be aggressive on their birdie putts, but just trying to get a lag putt close.
Right.
So I do know that led to some of the defensiveness of the putting on the greens. But the next day, though, after round 3, Gary, he sort of changed his tune about what he had said following those first 2 days about the bunch leaderboard. So I don't know, and I'm not a professional golfer. I'm a fan of golf. I enjoyed watching these guys struggle a little bit. I enjoyed watching them really have to, bear down, so to speak, to to make some of these pars on certain holes. And I still think we had a very entertaining weekend of golf. There were several guys that shot 65, including Aaron Rai, and then Kurt Kitayama shot 63 yesterday. So low scores were out there, just that not enough of the big names were able to shoot them for whatever reason.
And so another part of yesterday that got a lot of attention, there was a moment where Rory had a back and forth with a fan, tried to get the person removed. It was your very normal, whether it should be or not, balls in the air, somebody screams something to get it picked up on television. Do you think we'll ever just get away from that? I imagine it was funny maybe the first 40,000 times somebody did it, but it doesn't seem to make anybody laugh anymore. So why do we still do that?
I rarely thought it was funny because usually what people say is lame.
Yeah.
People do it for what you just said, to hear themselves on television.
Right.
And so like the day before, so yesterday, he's hitting the shot from the rough and the guy starts chanting USA. Like, dude, this ain't the Ryder Cup.
Right.
Like, what? And if that's all you got is USA, shut the hell up. Come up with something clever then, because that ain't clever. It's overused. And in that moment, it didn't mean anything. But like the day before, I was following Rory and his group, and he was hitting a tee shot on 8. It's a long par 3. And I was standing directly behind him. And as soon as he hits it, some guy yells, "Get in the bunker."
Right. Yeah.
All right. That's not golf culture.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know we have a lot of new people to the game, which is great. But that's not what you don't root against someone in an individual sport in that capacity. You just don't.
Right.
You're not rooting for the Eagles. You're not rooting for the Sixers. You're not at a Phillies game. That's not what we do in golf. So if you want to assimilate to the game, then I do think there is some type of education you need to undertake about how the game is played, but also how the game is watched. And if you don't like the guy, fine. We don't root against people. Right? That's like being at the craps table and rooting for a guy to crap out. You don't do that. If you play the don't pass line, you sit there quiet. Right. And if you do, you rake your money. You don't root against people to do stuff like that. This is not team sports. It's not the same thing. So if you're going to be out there, learn the culture of the game.
And for people who don't, aren't in it, like even if you and I were playing against each other for money, I wouldn't be out there verbally wanting you to put your ball out of bounds. You just don't talk like that unless you're just having fun with one of your like best friends that you can talk to like that. Yeah. But like, you're not out there rooting or like, oh, like I hope you missed this putt is not a normal thing in golf. And for whatever reason, some people who show up at the golf course don't understand that.
They do not, because their fandom has originated from other sports where that is part of the culture. It is not part of the culture in golf, and hopefully it never will be.
So I stayed up, last thing before I get you out of here, I stayed up late last night, saw you on SportsCenter talking to Andy North. And it just sort of occurred to me, like, he's got such an interesting career. 3 wins on the PGA Tour, 2 of them are U.S. Opens. Does he have an explanation for that? I know this is a random question, but is there an explanation in his mind for how his career went that way?
Andy was a grinder.
Yeah.
Right? He may not have been the most talented player of his generation, and so every part of his game, he worked to get the most talent out of it. And for so many of those events, it's, even now, but even back then as well, it's about making a lot of birdies. Yeah. And that was not really part of Andy's game. But that's why he was such a great U.S. Open player, because par is so valuable in U.S. Opens. Yeah. So some people are good at certain things that doesn't transpire to a lot of wins in certain areas. And there have been other golfers who've done the same thing. Like you take Brian Harmon, for example. He won an Open Championship. He doesn't hit it very long. He's not flashy with his putter, but he's making a really good career out of playing golf, but he's probably not a guy who's going to win multiple majors or a lot of golf tournaments per se. But Andy was a grinder, and he got every single bit out of his golf talent by doing it that way.
Well, as always, I enjoyed you guys' conversation last night. It was good television. I appreciate you being here. That's Michael Eaves. He's on Twitter, @Michael Eaves. That's @Michael Eaves. I will talk to you not next Monday. Enjoy the holiday. 2 Mondays from today.
Sounds good, brother.
I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Michael Eaves from ESPN. When we come back, turn our attention to college basketball because most of the best coaches in the sport were in town this weekend. Nike EYBL circuit came through Memphis. Seemed to go really well. Cool event. We'll touch on it next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Get ready, Grizzlies fans. It is time for the Surfside Can Shuffle. Can you keep up with the cans and find Mac the Crab?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
New Amsterdam Vodka is an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the only exceptionally smooth vodka that is 5 times distilled, 3 times filtered, and rated 93 points. New Amsterdam believes wins big and small become legendary when you celebrate them with your crew. So here's to the blue, white, and gold, the Memphis grit and grind, and reliving winning moments big and small with Tennessee's favorite basketball team. New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins.
Chelsea Gray got named best point guard over Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, and I'm sure everybody handled that one rationally and with grace and understanding that the second you start doubting Chelsea Gray is still the best point guard in the WNBA, she will remind you she is the point god. Caitlin Clark, get back on the court. She'll have her moment. She's got to play.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
The Nike EYBL circuit was in town over the weekend, visiting Memphis like it does annually, which brings most of the best high school basketball players and most of the biggest names in college basketball coaching to our fine city to spend the weekend. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw that a lot of them were chilling at Barbecue Fest this weekend, so that's pretty cool. That's the benefit of Barbecue Fest at Tiger Lane is the EYBL, circuit. People can just pour out right into it.
Hey, you want to go to a nice festival down on the
It's
river?
right there.
Go to the nice festival. So, yes, you got all that. It's just, I don't think you can overstate how like good this is for the city to have all of, particularly some of these are future NBA players.
For sure.
All right? And they will have an awareness of Memphis before they ever enter an NBA draft. Like I don't know if you read the news too much, but sometimes we take a beating as a city.
Yeah.
Nationally from here or there. And yet the things you hear can shape your opinion of something, but less so if you've actually been there, boots on the ground, so to speak, and experience, spent the night there. And so you're bringing, hundreds, if not thousands of kids and families to visit the city and stay in hotels and go to restaurants and spend money. This is a big deal. And, you just see the pictures popping up on social media. There's Dan Hurley, and there's John Shire, and there's, Paulo Banchero.
Coach Cal, yeah,
there's Cal, and everybody. It was the center of the basketball world was Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
This weekend, it stinks. It falls on last year was the same thing. It falls on a weekend where my little guy's playing baseball, and I miss so much during the college basketball season that I try to not miss. When it's not college basketball season. Yep. So I was in Oxford all weekend as opposed to at the EYBL thing. But by all accounts, it went well. And the reviews on the city from people just flying into Memphis and spending a few days here, from the coaches who texted me, like, hey, where you at? That kind of stuff. It was just like they're having a good time. They like being here. And, so it's just nice to see all those familiar faces here getting to experience our city, in a firsthand way.
Number 2.
Kermit Davis, former Ole Miss basketball coach, is among the latest to discuss Lane Kiffin's comments that went viral last week in a Vanity Fair piece. To be clear, yes, I am just using Kermit Davis's comments from this weekend to as a hook to circle back to a story that we didn't get to talk about last week because we weren't here for most of the week. But you're familiar with the story at this point, I would assume.
I don't know if I am.
Okay, so Lane Kiffin did a big sit down with Vanity Fair.
Okay.
That published late last week or early last week. And in it, among other things, he was explaining the difference between LSU and Ole Miss. And he said that in some recruitments, a prospect might say to him when he was the coach at Ole Miss, hey, coach, we really like you. This is a quote from Lane Kiffin. Hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is Lane Kiffin talking. Parents were sitting here this weekend in Baton Rouge saying the campus's diversity feels so great. It feels like there's no segregation. In other words, he's saying, when I was at Ole Miss, here's what I was running into. I'm recruiting a black football player. And he likes me, and I like him. And he would say, Coach, I would love to come play football for you. But my grandparents are not letting me move to Mississippi with all your Confederate flags and blah, blah, blah. And it was a real recruiting issue for me that I no longer have as a obstacle in Baton Rouge because the prospect's grandparents don't have an issue with them moving to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the same way they might have an issue with them moving to Oxford, Mississippi. And you can imagine that didn't sit well with too many people. I
wouldn't think so.
In the state of Mississippi, and certainly not at Ole Miss. Because, I was just in Oxford this weekend. It is not like the rest of Mississippi in the same way that Austin, Texas is not like the rest of Texas. It's a different place. Here's the truth. I don't believe that Lane Kiffin never ran into that. I think that's probably a real thing that he ran into at some point while coaching at Ole Miss. Because you will see, maybe not on the Ole Miss campus, but I live in Mississippi. It ain't crazy for me to see a Confederate flag. There's a golf course in Olive Branch. And you just walk in the golf course. And in somebody's backyard on the golf course, there will be a Confederate flag. So you do see those. But what I gather from people who display those in the year 2026, and I'm not trying to rationalize it, I think it's ridiculous. I obviously would prefer it not to exist. But the sense I get from people who, they don't associate it with, it's just a Southern pride thing for them. They just really, it's just, we're the South, and this is a symbol of the South. But it's still it is what it is. It's the Confederate flag. And it's, I don't want to say it's everywhere, but you will drive around with me for a little while, you'll see it. So, that's a real thing. But then the question becomes, why are you talking about that? Why is that something that you wanted out in the world? Because it's going to land the way it landed. And here's what he's doing. Sometimes people do this. They make a decision based on whatever it is they want to make that decision. And then you got to come up with ways to rationalize that decision. You got to come up with ways to justify your decision. When most of us make decisions, if you care at all what people think, and truth is, most of us make decisions and nobody cares because most of us don't matter to anybody else. But every once in a while, there's somebody who, their decision is going to impact a lot of people. And I guess you would hope that people would sign off on it. Hey, this is what I'm going to do. And everybody just pat you on the back and be like, that's what I would do too. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. If you care at all, that's probably what you're after. So then you make a decision and that's not what you're getting. People aren't really patting you on the back, telling you how happy they are for you. They're like really question your core. Like what's wrong with you, man? You like quit on a team that had a realistic chance to win a national championship. I mean, in theory. What's wrong with you? And so you have to come up with reasons where you can try to make other people understand why you did it. Tell them what it is they don't get. Well, let's see, here's the thing you don't get. Here's the thing you don't understand. That's what he's doing. He's trying to rationalize a very, very unpopular decision.
Yep.
And so he thinks in his own head. Now, if I just say, like, everybody would understand this. Like, I'm a football coach, and I'm recruiting football players. And sometimes these football players are young black men who have parents or grandparents who aren't comfortable with the state of Mississippi and all of that. I mean, there's still Confederate flags everywhere in the state. You guys, so like, that's what I was up against. So you guys see, right? I mean, that's why I had to go. Like, I want to win a national championship. And it's just going to be easier at LSU for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is because I don't have to battle the Confederate flag anymore. And that's among the reasons I had to go. And you hope that when you say that, people will go, okay, I get it. But instead, people just get, man, why are you still talking about us? You shit on us, and now you're still talking about us. And he's just trying to rationalize his own decision. It will forever be an unpopular decision that shapes the way people think of him. And he can keep trying to rationalize it, but what he's going to have to learn at some point is that he can use the most beautiful words and the greatest stories, true or not, and people just aren't going to buy it. People are always going to think a different dude would not have done what you did, period. Like, that's not how most people would have handled the situation that you were in. And it says more about you than it does the situation. But he's trying to make it still about the situation. I had to go. Here's another reason why. That's all he's doing. Anyway, Kermit Davis was asked about it this weekend. And Kermit told Chris Childers, a radio host, podcast host, it's really kind of a pitiful day, in my opinion. When Lane said all these things, and I watched Oxford from firsthand experience embrace him in an unbelievable way, and he even said it, that he needed Oxford more than Oxford needed him. And then for him to kind of throw shade on historical past of Mississippi and not talk about Ole Miss now, which is one of the most inviting campuses in America, it shocked a lot of people. A lot of close friends of mine. I think there were a lot of people that were really disappointed with Lane's words. And that makes sense to me too. Just as somebody who grew up in Mississippi, I can tell you it's a very different place. It's not perfect, but it is a very different place than it was when I was growing up. And Oxford, especially, is a very different place. I mean, there was a time where you would go to Vaught Hemingway Stadium and that Confederate flag would be everywhere in the stadium. So moving in the right direction. Still not perfect. But just seemed unnecessary from Lane Kiffin and a lot of people who have worked really hard in the state of Mississippi and on that campus to try to improve all of these things that obviously need improvement. It just felt like another kick at them. Like we're working hard to change this, and why are you the one? Just leave us alone at this point, right? And so I'm not surprised Kermit cares deeply about that state and that place. I'm not surprised his words were pretty pointed.
Number 3.
Rhonda Rousey made her return to the cage this weekend in an MMA fight on Netflix, first one ever. And she got Gina Carano to tap out in 17 seconds. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched the whole thing, or at least I watched the 3, the main card. And I was fascinated by just what this was going to look like, how it was going to go. This is obviously a MVP production with Jake Paul attached to it. And it's Rhonda Rousey back in the octagon, which is a big deal. There was a UFC card, a fight night going on simultaneously. But I would assume that the majority of people, even diehard UFC fans, are probably watching this because just you want to see what it's going to look like, right? It was terrible. It was really bad. Francis Ngannou beat the crap out of his opponent. Like they got 3 big names on this main card, right? You got Francis Ngannou fighting, you've got Nate Diaz fighting, a legend of the sport. You got Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano in the main event, and so it's interesting but it just didn't deliver at all. Like, it was just...
The whole thing felt off. It was empty. Like, the building looked empty. It looked like nobody cared.
No, Francis Ngannou beat the crap out of his opponent. Nate Diaz, frankly, like, I don't want to say anything disrespectful because he's a legend and, like, I'm a huge Nate Diaz fan. He should not have, like, been fighting, frankly.
Just
like,
at what point do we stop doing this? This is like, whatever. Ronda Rousey wins, Gina Carano loses. They both made a lot of money. At what point do we, as consumers of live sports events, just say, we're not watching that?
It played very much into the whole thing that we talked about with Tyson, Paul,
Mayweather, all of them.
Yeah, it's this is Netflix, so like you're gonna have a built-in audience regardless of what you put out there, right? Like you're gonna just have that big Netflix audience, right? And casual, sports fans might tune in too because like I'm curious about this. What's this gonna look like?
I turned it on because I was curious.
Yeah, but it totally plays into this is a sham. This is not good. Like, why are they doing this?
I'm just wondering, when will I not be curious? When will I just say,
right.
And I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to be there now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not against watching MMA or boxing. I love this stuff. But I do not want to watch two retired people come out of retirement to fight each other.
I mean, dude, the Rousey, you saw the Rousey event.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt staged. Like it really did. It was that ridiculous.
It felt like, let's get out of here and cash these checks.
Yeah, Gina's old. We don't want to get her hurt, right? We need Rhonda to get an easy win. But like, my God, you can't stand in the ring and throw a couple punches for a few minutes. Well, I mean, that was just a joke.
Did you see CM Punk's interview pre-match? They were interviewing him because of the WWE Netflix connection. He's there, and they were like, "So what do you expect tonight?" And he said, "Well, I just like to." Say hello to my wife who's watching at home. And he said, "Baby, I'll be home in 20 minutes." He was like he said the fight they hadn't even walked out yet. Mm-hmm. He's like, "I'll be home in 20 minutes. Like, this is not going to take long." He even he was like, "Yeah, this will be about 17 seconds."
Yeah.
And so at what point do not just me, but the rest of us, we go, all right, Ronda Rousey, huge name once upon a time. Gina Carano, huge name once upon a time. When is the last time either one of them fought? For one of them, it's been 17 years. Why do I want to watch them get in there? Okay, they were big names once upon a time. Why do I want to watch that time?
It's the same thing. It's because Mike Tyson is back.
I know, but that was bad too.
Ronda Rousey
bad.
is back.
But when they're back,
Floyd is back.
Floyd is back, and it's boring. Mike Tyson is back, and it sucks. Ronda Rousey is back, and it sucks. I'm not specifically talking about older athletes. I'm talking about you have been not doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And now you're coming back clearly just to cash a check. Why? Just because you're doing it, we all pay attention to it. We all talk about it and think about it and the commercials are there. But why? At what point do we just say, so Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are fighting this weekend. You going to watch it? And I say, no, why would I turn that on? Neither one of them has been relevant forever. This is not what they do for a living anymore. Like, I don't want to watch, Hakeem Olajuwon play basketball tonight against Dr. J. And I also don't want to watch Ronda Rousey fight Gina Carano. Dr. J and Hakeem Olajuwon don't play basketball anymore. They're just old men who used to be great at this. Yeah. Why do I want to watch them do this in the year 2026? So I feel like we should get to that point.
I mean, I'm
ready. I'm ready to get there right now.
Well, for me, it is, I just, every time I try to take it seriously, something like this happens. And it's like, bro, if you want us to take the Jake Paul production seriously, get a real, like even fight. Like, let's see, who can you get to fight Ronda if she fights in another fight for you?
I'm saying be done with be done with that. Just we all had a great time watching Ronda Rousey fight once upon a time, but that's over. We will never again have a good time watching Ronda Rousey fight.
Maybe. She might be good.
Why don't we know that?
We didn't get to see. Like, we didn't get to see anything. It was a joke.
Let me tell you how you know she's not good. She's already re-retired.
That's a fair point. Okay, here's where I will give them another chance. Is they interviewed John Jones, and he said that he wants to get out of his UFC contract to be able to fight Francis Ngannou. That would do massive numbers. Those are two legends that can still fight. Like that would, if Jake Paul could pull that off, John Jones Ngannou on Netflix.
Here's where I'm
People
at.
will get into it. I'm telling you, that'll be good.
You ready? Here's where I'm at. I am with these exactly where I'm at with the All-Star game. All-Star weekend.
You're done.
When All-Star weekend is awesome, tell me, and then I'll turn it back on.
Okay.
But until it's awesome again, until I got confirmation that it's awesome again, I'm not going to care about it. And same thing here. When you get two retired boxers or fighters on a card together, I'm not going to address it, think about it, turn it on. And if I just miss the most awesome thing in the world, I'm just going to miss the most awesome thing in the world, and then I'll give it a shot next time. But I have now it's been a disappointment every time. These older, been out the game athletes get back in the game for a night to let us all feel nostalgic, and it disappoints every time. So why? I'm out the game. I'm done.
Okay.
I am retired from watching retired people fight each other. I think that's right.
Let me see if I can interest you in another one.
Number 4.
Okay, I might turn this one on.
Well, you're going to have to.
Well, just because it's a spectacle.
It's the event of the summer.
Well, let's calm down.
It's the event of the summer.
But this falls.
He's back.
This falls closer under that umbrella than I would like for it to. But this will be an actual UFC card. This isn't just a one-off thing. Conor McGregor is headlining a UFC event in Las Vegas in July.
So this is what was hilarious, was the reason that I wanted to talk about both these stories today is because they announced this right during the middle of the Jake Paul UFC card on Netflix. Like, it was clearly UFC being like, okay, you got this cute little event going on. Let me show you what we're going to do in a month or 2 months.
So at least this is a real card. It's not just a one-off. Conor McGregor, walking into an octagon to fight because somebody's giving him $50 million, and it's just, this is a part of a UFC card. But even then, it's like this guy hadn't fought in 5 years, and the last time we watched him, he wasn't good.
So in 2021, his last fight, that was when he snapped his leg, right, and lost to Dustin Poirier. Max Holloway, the guy that he's fighting, is another UFC legend, a guy who's he's not in his prime. He's 34. Conor's 37, but Max Holloway's still number 4, ranked number 4 in lightweight. Like, that dude is still very much a good UFC fighter. He lost his last fight to Oliveira and beat, I believe, Dustin Poirier before that in their trilogy. But this is I was shocked by this, honestly. I did not think Conor, and I give credit to him, I did not think he would come back and take a fight like this, because he's probably going to lose.
I mean, I was reading, I don't know anything about it, obviously, but I was reading like expert analysis, and most of the expert analysis is he will probably lose.
Yeah, I don't think this is like when he came back and fought Cowboy and got that win, because Cowboy was like clearly, he was past his prime at that point. And Max is probably past his prime, but Max is still a really good fighter. Like, I think Conor is going to be an underdog right off the bat whenever they put the odds out there, and so we'll see.
All right. I expect to probably be disappointed, but this is the type of thing I will at least turn on, because it feels like it's a legend of the sport against a legitimate fighter. That's right?
Yeah, and you got Patty fighting on that card too. Like, it's shaping up to be a really good card. And so, yeah, this should be a lot of fun. This is one of those, like, again, the Rousey thing, I was curious. The Conor McGregor thing, I'm like, can he still do this? Like, he's fighting a guy similar in age who is very much a good fighter. Can he hang? Like, can he hang and make this a really good fight?
Well, if it's a legitimate question, that's enough probably to get people hooked, because he is a star. Conor McGregor, as I've said, I don't follow MMA. I don't watch the UFC, but I have purchased UFC cards when he was on them, because it just felt like the whole world was watching this, and I want to watch it too.
Yeah.
So he was that kind of star, kind of like Rousey, honestly, who you didn't have to pay attention to MMA to know that this person exists and is a big deal and fills up arenas. And so we'll see how it goes. July, Conor McGregor makes his return to UFC.
Number 5.
Here's the worst story. So Jonathan Brush, 42-year-old man, had been charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of Jody Moit, who was a chef here in town. I didn't know Jody, but we have a lot of mutual friends / acquaintances, and so I know this has just been tragic for people who, I care about. And So anyway, the reason it's back in the news today is that he was convicted this weekend, Jonathan Brush, of a voluntary manslaughter charge, which carries a sentence of 3 to 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So he's initially charged with first-degree murder. In theory, could be facing life in prison. And the jury comes back with a voluntary manslaughter charge where the sentence could be 3 to 6 years. He's already served 4. He'll be out of jail soon. Now, what you might not know about this fella, Jonathan Brush, is that he's now responsible for 2 deaths in his life. He was also charged with a death of a man on a balcony in Florida many years ago. So this guy's killed 2 people. What's going on?
What is going on?
Why do we want this guy back on the streets?
We shouldn't.
You're responsible for 2 deaths.
Yeah. That should automatically just...
Like at that point, I just don't even want to, on the off chance I might bump into you at the gas station and you might be in a bad mood. I'd just rather not have you out there anymore. Mm-hmm. What in the world?
That's crazy, man.
And so the family is just furious.
Yeah, of course.
Like you stabbed my son, my brother, my father, my cousin, my friend to death. You'd already killed somebody else many years before that. And now just like you just could be out any day. Certainly in the next year or two. Just seems wrong. Just on a very basic level, just seems wrong. And so like every day I read stuff like this and I find myself getting angrier. Mm-hmm. Like just actually like reading the news now makes me just angrier and angrier. I was listening to a story this morning. There's a new report that shows the way that we're handling immigration now has separated 100,000 kids from their parents. Because what you're having now in this country is you got a lot of kids who were born in America whose parents aren't legal. And then you have a choice. Do you go with your parents back to Mexico, even though you've never been to Mexico? Like, never even been there. Or do you stay here with somebody else while your parents go back to Mexico? Like, that's happening every day. Happening to a friend of ours, my wife and ours. This poor woman, the sweetest woman she's got, like, in the next few weeks to make a decision. Is she going to go back to Mexico and leave her kids here? Or take them with her and relocate her daughters? They're like teenagers. They're like kids. And, like, can you imagine? Like, that's a nightmare of a situation. Just, you are devastating these people. For what? For what? And then I turn around and I read this story. So we're taking Rosa off the streets and putting this guy back on him. Just seems messed up. I know laws and all that stuff, but it just seems cruel. Mm-hmm. Just seems real cruel. And then you read this, and it's like, I'm going to live in a country in, let's just say, 2 years, where Rosa will be back in Mexico. Who knows where her kids will be. And this guy lived down the street from me. It just seems awful. Mm-hmm. Just absolutely awful. So, yeah. I know we try to keep it pretty light down here most times, but, like, I don't know. Just sometimes.
No, outside this, I saw this story picking up some traction that you just brought up. And, yeah, man, I just, again, it's hard to wrap your mind around someone who's been responsible for the death of 2 people not serving a lot of time at all. It just doesn't make sense.
Hire Blake Ballin.
I guess
that's the first place to start. Hire Leslie or Blake. And, those are great guys they're doing their job. Mm-hmm. I got it, But, man, I don't know. I'd feel conflicted.
Icky, yeah.
It would make me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless them, right? I got my own problems, mm-hmm. but I don't know.
Feels gross.
Feels gross to me. Be back with Carry Out.
Chelsea Gray got named best point guard over Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, and I'm sure everybody handled that one rationally and with grace and understanding that the second you start doubting Chelsea Gray is still the best point guard in the WNBA, she will remind you she is the point god. Caitlin Clark, get back on the court. She'll have her moment. She's got to play.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies, take your fandom to the next level by becoming an MVP.
How long have you been an MVP? Since day one.
Enjoy the great benefits of being a season ticket member. Pre-game MVP moments, including Autograph Alley, exclusive Grizz gear deals, access to member or MVP-only player events, and much more.
He's been an MVP for 22 years.
Become a Grizzlies MVP today.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Each challenge is unique, so each game plan is customized to identify opportunity and the path to victory. It's true in basketball, it's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle with personalized planning and advice. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by May 30th, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
You a chance to win free Sonic. Just hit the link pinned in the YouTube chat to enter for a Sonic gift card. Jump into the chat, hang with us, and maybe even eat free Sonic 2. That's in the chat every Monday. It's a Sonic Chat giveaway. Let's do carry out.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
So Roy McIlroy wasn't the only athlete this weekend who had a run-in with a fan. Pete Crow Armstrong, Cup star, also did. Former Met.
What happened?
Okay. Former Met. Mets traded him for a guy who swings and misses a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like that was a mistake with the benefit of hindsight. So now he's a Cub. And Cubs White Sox series. And
White Sox won the series, right?
You're going to have to double check that. You're going to have to look that up on your own.
You know, I just dabble.
So Pete Crow Armstrong is, he's the fans right behind home plate. And a woman decides to tell Pete Crow Armstrong that he sucks. And
it's not. It's typical to a sporting event.
And he decides to tell her to SSD.
I think that's probably going too far.
You're going to stand on the side of, if a woman tells you you suck, it is not appropriate to respond with, why don't you ask my D?
I think in the year 2026, we have accepted as a society that you suck is a perfectly reasonable thing to chant to someone at a sporting event, and it doesn't need to be escalated to a different level.
I want to be clear. It wasn't just like, hey, you suck. Like she was committed to it. She was committed.
I'd have to see the video.
Okay. Well, it's out there.
Okay.
And, they were going back and forth exchanging words, and then he just finally he took it there. I think you're right.
I just don't know if there to there.
I think you're right. I think you have to stay above it.
Yeah.
But it is kind of crazy, and we've talked about this before. Like we live in a world where you go to sports competitions and you just say things to people that you would never say anywhere else in any other aspect of your life.
Yeah.
You would just never walk up to somebody in a restaurant or on the street or at church or at the school or in the grocery store and just start berating them.
Yeah.
You suck and yet we do that every day in sports. And I could see how after a while you might just be, you know what, S my D.
Yeah.
I could totally get how at some point you're just like, you know what you should do? Instead of all that yelling, you know what you should do? S my D.
Oof.
I'm not saying I'd be proud of myself. I'm saying I could see how you get there.
But you can't actually do it.
Can't actually do it.
Right.
It's just one of those things you could want to do and not do.
So what was the fallout?
He just had to apologize.
Yeah.
You know, can't do that.
It's
Got to
fine.
hold myself to a higher standard
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Was this a hot mic situation or something?
Oh, it's all called on mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's all, you know, everybody's got a phone these days. Phones have mics and ain't too many secrets out there. So
White Sox did win the series, though, so it looks like she got the best of the situation.
All right. Victory for the fan.
Yeah.
We'll call it a victory for the fan.
What's today's biggest game?
Game 1, Western Conference Finals, 7:30 NBC, Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. It's the Spurs and the Thunder. OKC minus 6.5. The total's 221.5. I know you ain't. I already know. Wemby plus 6.5. You just gonna have to live like that.
I want a good series, man. I want a good series.
They're gonna make Wemby sit there and watch SGA get a second straight MVP.
I mean, bro, I am.
How do you think Wemby's gonna respond to that?
I am super impressed by what they did to the Timberwolves. I thought that series was over when Minnesota got got that first one on the road or whatever one it was. I thought that they were going to get that done just because they had been battle tested in the playoffs, and it was just domination down the stretch. Like, it wasn't even close. You got Anthony Edwards shaking hands with the Spurs bench with 8 minutes left in the game. Like,
I'm a Spurs fan now. Just for this moment.
Like, how did they not hang around in this series?
Well, because the other team's all-time great team. Because the other team's one of the greatest teams in the world.
Man, they showed me something
of all time.
They showed me something though. I think this is going to be a good series.
I hope so.
I really do.
I just want this to be the Wemby series.
Okay, give me the freaking Spurs.
They didn't give him his MVP that he wanted and deserved, and now they pay the price.
Give me the Spurs.
Yeah, give me the Spurs too.
Yes.
San Antonio plus the 6.5. We ride with 22-year-old Victor Wembanyama tonight.
What are we watching on TV?
I finished Rooster.
How was that?
I liked it.
I've seen the first 3 episodes.
Okay. I think you and I were on the same page for much of the series. It's got Steve Carell.
Yeah.
And that's good enough.
Yeah.
And it was perfectly...
It's a good cast. It's got Danielle Detweiler. She's great. It's a good cast.
Yeah, it's got the fellow from Ted Lasso. The good-looking fellow from Ted Lasso. He's in there. And so it was just... I thought it landed really well. I thought it wrapped up really well. Like the last couple of episodes. I just think the story landed in a really good place.
I've been rewatching The Mandalorian.
Oh, no.
Because I don't know if you knew this, but this weekend we get one of the first Star Wars theatrical releases in years.
I did know that because I saw somebody tweet, and this is what they said. Can you believe we got a new Star Wars movie coming out for the first time in years and nobody seems to care? Is that true? Does nobody care? You care.
We'll let the box office determine that. I already got my tickets, so I care.
Clearly you care.
I think this is going to be one of those things where, like, the online people are like, Star Wars sucks now, and the box office is going to be awesome for this movie. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Do you have to let Michael get out the way? Is Michael still a problem for everybody?
I think Michael has been in theaters way long enough to not be a massive problem for...
He's messing up Drake's album rollout. Drake can't even beat Thriller.
That's wild.
It's tough, bro.
That's wild.
It's tough when Billie Jean's doing numbers on you.
I mean, it's one of the greatest albums of all time. Whatever. Yeah.
It is great.
Thriller?
Like,
I listen to it all the time. My whole life.
I mean, I haven't listened to it in 20 years. But until now. It's great.
That's so good. Start to finish. Nothing but bangers.
Want to be starting something. is like an all-time great album launcher.
When they start clapping it, then Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa, Mama say, Mama sa.
I'm just in the car like this.
So good, yeah, dude. So good.
Those are all-time great. Those are all-time songs. Those songs kids will dance to those songs 40 years from now, just like they did 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about Michael Jackson that
Timeless.
I don't know that we properly understood. Those are timeless songs. That is what I listened to a whole podcast about how they reshaped the image of this has been planned. The rehabilitation of Michael Jackson. Do you know when he died? He had a Q score rating. You know what that is? It's like a number or they assign to celebrities. It's like like how much value do you have to a brand or something. When Michael Jackson died, you know what it was? 0.
Wow.
0. He was getting ready to do this tour, this series of concerts. They couldn't even get a corporate sponsor for it.
Right. There's a documentary, I believe, about the making of the tour.
So here's what happened. Those concerts never went off. He died before that. But they had all this footage from rehearsals.
Yep.
So they turned it into a movie.
Yes.
And it killed. It did crazy numbers. Box office, real box office.
This is it, I believe it's called. Yep.
So what they realized from there is we've got something here that people will still care about if we can just make it about the music. And the reason Michael Jackson had that Q score rating of 0 when he died is because he kept getting in the way of the music. This is the way they explained it. Every time you would just start to be like, man, Michael Jackson's got a great new song out, he'd dangle a baby over a balcony or say something like, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with sleeping in the bed with little boys. It's the purest form of love. And be like, shut up. Why are you saying this? Just shut up and sing and dance. That's all people want out of you. Stop talking about sleeping in a bed with little boys. So he was kept. So once he died, you know what happens? He's not here to get in the way of the music anymore. He's not here to say anything weird, do anything weird, look weird. Now we can really just make it about the music. So there was a very intentional rehabilitation of Michael Jackson's music, Cirque du Soleil, all of this stuff. And it led to this film. And now he is once again the biggest,
oh, dude,
he's once again the big
streams,
he's the big, Thriller's the #1 album.
It's crazy.
Billie Jean's doing the #1 song in the world right now. It's Billie Jean.
Great song.
And you turn that album on, and my kids, I grew up with it. It makes sense that you bounce to that music because you grew up with it.
Yes.
I grew up with it.
Yes.
My 9-year-old should not know every word to Thriller, but he does.
My 7-year-old loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? My 12-year-old should not know the track listing of Thriller, but he does. And they like, I can watch them. They're not just you know what? How about this? Because we did this thing where I would put on albums and we would listen to albums start to finish on the way to school. Like we get 5 tracks on the way to school, pick them up. We get the rest of the album on the way home. We'd only listen when we were in the car together.
Yeah.
And I tried to, I put on Purple Rain. It didn't
resonate.
No. Purple Rain did not hit them in any way whatsoever. They Let's Go Crazy was kind of cool or whatever.
Let's Go Crazy hits still and so good.
But they got bored with Purple Rain pretty quickly. I could tell.
Purple Rain's long.
They like Purple Rain, and they like Doves Cry. But they got in the middle of if I would have said, hey guys, you want to just turn on something else? They'd have been like, yes. But for whatever reason, the Michael Jackson stuff totally connects with them, and that suggests to me that that music will last forever.
Yeah. It absolutely will.
So what were we talking about? The Mandalorian. And then I asked you if Michael's got to get out of the way. And you say, no, Michael's had enough time.
No, I think this is going to be... Now, here's the one thing that could be an issue for it is I'm pretty sure you have to watch a TV show to go see the movie. I don't know how standalone this movie... I mean, there's 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, right?
Too much work for me. I'm going to set it out.
I don't know if it'll work as a standalone movie or not. I think they're banking on that, so we'll see.
All right. So anyway, Rooster, 2 thumbs up from me. That was the initial point. Rooster, 2 thumbs up. And now I'm on to, I guess everybody's on Netflix watching The Crash.
I mean, last night we watched Euphoria, and I'm liking it.
I fell asleep.
It's time to be over, though. You know what's hilarious is you can tell everyone associated with that show knows it's over.
Of course.
Even HBO in their promos, like leading up to next week's episode, is like, it was something like almost to the end or something like that. And the creator, Sam Levinson, like is still like thinking that they're going to do more seasons. There's no way any of those people are doing another season of this show.
No.
And so it would really suck if he ends it on a cliffhanger, because I have a feeling that he's going to. And it's like, bro, no one else is coming back to do this show. It's done.
The show's over.
Yeah.
You get too many movie stars trying to do a TV show.
Right. You can't do it.
No, can't do it. And they don't even like each other anymore.
No.
Like all the people don't. I don't want to say they all don't like each other, but some of them clearly don't.
Some of them clearly don't.
Some of them clearly don't.
Right. So I hope that it ends. You know, they put a bow on it and everything. I think the season's been. It's been entertaining. It's been entertaining.
I promise you, I will get caught up on Euphoria, and then we'll move on to The Crash on Netflix. All right. That's our TV habits.
Go with me.
All right.
What's the best thing we've read?
Top 25 and 1 Virgin 15. Going up today over at CBSSports.com, Rick Pitino added another 5-star center. The rich get richer, as they say, trying to get a third straight Big East regular season title. If you want to read about that, college basketball page, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be Tuesday, and Evan Hayes, who covers the Grizzlies for SI Now, among other places, is going to pop in studio. He's just wrapped up another college degree for him, so he's back in town. I was going to pop him in studio last Tuesday. We didn't have that show, so he'll come in tomorrow, and we'll talk Grizzlies with him. So Evan Hayes tomorrow in the second segment. Before I get out of here, I did want to say thanks to Bennett, Brevin Knight, and Michael Wallace for holding things down last Friday as we all came back in studio here at Grind City Media after what was obviously just a tough week. I had been scheduled to be off on Friday for a while now, as we had talked about on the show. My middle guy, Oliver, was graduating from 6th grade to 7th, and that's ceremony was at 8:45 last Friday morning, and obviously made it difficult to be here for 10 o'clock. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I thought y'all handled it really well. Obviously, since then, Brandon Clark's fiance has made a long post that was obviously sweet and just the saddest. You know, I guess it was a week ago today that Brandon Clark passed away at the age of 29 out in California. And, you know, as I was reading her note yesterday, you know, I met her very briefly at this dinner function thing we had last preseason. And for like, you know, corporate sponsors, season ticket holders type of thing. And as we talked about at the time, it was just, you know, seat assignments. You just sort of sit down at a table wherever your name is on a card. And I sat down where my name was, and I happened to be sitting with Thomas Isolo. And that was the first time I really got to spend any time with him and talk with him. And it was a fun night. But at one point, you know, the night's winding down, and Brandon and his fiance come over to our table to say bye to his coach. That's it. Like, you know, and just sort of in that moment, it's, hey, good to see you, and nice to meet you, and congratulations, and, you know, all that stuff. And just looking back on it, I can still see it. Like, it was just a thing out of respect. Like, Brandon just really came over to say, hey, coach, great job tonight, talking, you know, and good to see you. We're going to get out of here. Just, you know, saying goodbye before you leave. And it's just a beautiful young couple with the whole world in front of them. And then, you know, I don't have any special insight here, but I got Google. And I think you can probably Google and realize that things got tough over the past year. You know, he didn't play a lot. It was another injury. And, you know, sometimes life gets hard and challenging. And I think most of us have our easy times and our hard times and our good times and our bad times. And I don't know. The thing I can't get out of my head about it is most of us survive our rough stretches, you know. We wake up the next day. And it's just tough. that, it's just tough that he didn't get through his rough stretches the same way most of us are lucky enough to do it. And I don't know. It's just sad. Like I said, I don't have anything enlightening to say other than I appreciated you guys holding it down. I thought the note from her was just really sweet and sad, and just a reminder that, man, you never know. One day life's really good, and another day maybe it's not ass, and then someday it's over. And I liked that we were able to step away last week and take some time to process this, because everybody processes it in different ways. I don't want to overstate it. Like, I covered Brandon Clark in college, would see him when I see him. I didn't spend a lot of time around them, but there are people who work in this building on this floor who did. He was a real friend to them. And man, when you talk to people about him, you just hear nothing but good things. I was texting with Mark Few, his coach at Gonzaga, last Tuesday. After we had heard the news, but before it had become public, I just wanted to make sure Mark had heard, and he had. And it was just the same thing you heard from Mark Few is the same thing you hear from everybody who ever spent time around them. Just like, he was a real light, like a good dude. And if you saw that tribute video that the franchise put together, which was, as expected, awesome, sweet, but also just like some of those moments where he's mic'd up and you catch him talking to his teammates. Like, those are the moments those are the ones that hit hardest with me. I think it illustrates just how loved he was. And yeah, this is tough. This is tough for a lot of people. And so I appreciate us all getting time last week to sort of step away, decompress, process it in whatever ways, because I know this was harder for some than it was for others. Difficult for everybody, but there are people who are right outside these doors that were real friends with Brandon and his family, and that's I don't know that you get over stuff like this. So thoughts with them. Appreciate all the people who were here in the chat every day, checking in last week. I saw a lot of really nice notes. I didn't go back and forth on social media with anybody, but I saw it. I saw the nice things people were typing, and they appreciated it. So good to be back in studio this week. But yeah, last week was tough. And I appreciate everybody giving us the time to process it. And now we'll try to get back to being as normal as we can.